It's been more than 14 years since the prequel to Final Fantasy VII, Crisis Core, was released. Although, for many fans of the Final Fantasy VII compilation, this game has remained elusive since it was a PlayStation Portable exclusive and the PSP was discontinued in 2014. It was extremely exciting news then that, during the Final Fantasy VII 25th Anniversary Celebration presentation, Crisis Core Reunion was announced, accompanied by a hefty trailer of almost 3 minutes long. On the Square Enix blog, it is explained that Crisis Core is coming back in a big way on PS5, PS4, Xbox, Steam and Switch. They are calling the game a remaster that follows the original narrative, and when comparing the scenes from the trailer to the original game, they are a like for like, just prettier. The graphics have been converted to high definition and the game will include new 3D models for all elements, plus a newly arranged soundtrack and full voice acting for all of the dialogue. The DMW is still there, and even the CG cutscenes appear to be a cleaned up version of the original ones. One question fans now have concerning Crisis Core Reunion is, will this be a true remaster, or will it be subject to the remake treatment? When the original Crisis Core game was in development, the team explained that one of the primary reasons Zack was chosen as the protagonist was because his fate was predetermined. But can we say the same now that we know what happens at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake? Crisis Core, in my opinion, is an enjoyable game with a great story, but let's face it, it's far from perfect, and the pacing, especially in the latter stages of the game, can be jarring and confusing in places. So there are several changes that I would most welcome. A good explanation for Lizard's fate, for example. Addressing these kind of issues wouldn't change the story. We'll still get Sephiroth's hair routine lore. We'll still get...
Me? Gungaga.
To simply expand upon it for clarifications on a few issues, and a few new scenes dropped in here and there would be fine. There is evidence of change in the trailer that we've already seen, despite how faithful it appears to be to the original in that the Buster Sword now carries its original and canon design. This is for the sake of continuity though, it doesn't change any of the story beats. But this isn't what we want to know, is it? We're interested in how it will end, since Zack's last stand in Remake was very different from Crisis Core indeed. It's worth pointing out that this will not be called Crisis Core Remaster. This is Crisis Core Reunion, which does strongly hint at tying this into the wider narrative of Remake, Rebirth and beyond, which does blow open wide the possibility of a major change with the ending of this game. Tying this into Remake, however, could well mean players simply have to have the original ending, in which Zack is overcome by the Shinra troops at the end and does die. New players to the world of Final Fantasy VII need some context to understand why Zack surviving in Remake is such a deviation from the original plot. Many fans, therefore, are speculating that perhaps there will be two endings, two possible outcomes, or maybe a secret cutscene. Since the price of freedom is steep, perhaps a reward for 100% completion of the game, which depicts the version of events where Zack lives. It would be very interesting if the final moments played out as expected, with Zack dying, only for the scene to then begin glitching out in some way, resulting in like a rewind, maybe with the stamp packet design changing, resulting in the changes from Remake where Zack lives. I do feel this could be a possibility. One interesting thing to note is that the last stand footage shown in the trailer features the original voice actor for Zack, Rick Gomez. When we know there will be a new VA for Reunion, it may well be that what we see here is not what we will see in Reunion at all, and is actually here because it's a reminder of what we saw in the original game, despite the changes to the Buster Sword. This means it's possible that we haven't been shown any finalised footage of Zack's last stand in this new trailer, which leaves us with all the possibilities to speculate on. I think it's clear that the idea is that fans can play Zack's story before the release of Rebirth because this story is going to play a huge role in Rebirth and beyond. There are characters like Angeal, Genesis and Minerva who may be important in the future, and fans are going to need to understand who these people are before moving forward. Allowing Crisis Core to be playable across all platforms now would be necessary for that. Personally, I feel Crisis Core Reunion will be almost entirely the same as the original. Perhaps the odd extra scene here and there, maybe a little more time to build the friendship between Zack and Cloud, and some ironing out of the pacing in the latter stages of the game. The ending, however, could well be the reunion of the new direction this compilation is taking us. I'd be very interested in hearing what everyone else thinks of this. Are you looking forward to playing this new title? Do you think it will be a faithful remaster with zero changes? Or do you think there's going to be some revision? If so, what would you like to see? And how do you think they will handle the ending? Thanks for watching. I'll be back.